So many people believe that Kabayel presents the biggest danger to Usyk. Many people believe that. And Kabayel is actually fighting this Saturday. So there's been some exposure on DAZN about that. So let's talk about it. So I was looking at his gym, and his gym, it looks grimy, no glamour. And I really like that because it's about training in hostile environments, because boxing is hostile. So I like the fact that his gym looks like an old school gym as opposed to like a modern gym. And Cabello was talking about the concept and that he becomes better in every training camp. So he's talking about the evolution of his style, and that evolution could be stamina, evolution could be power, speed, boxing IQ, etc. And also he was talking about the different types of training, whether it's what he refers to as muscle training, sparring training, and physio. I'm assuming muscle training is training with weights. Sparring training is obviously, competing with different sparring partners. And then physio is more, to my understanding, something that's about recovery. And also he spoke about his coach, and his coach was talking as well. And they were saying that it was a close relationship, like a second father. And the communication that they have is so effective that sometimes it's nonverbal. And I think about boxing history, and you see that there's been some really close boxer training relationships. One of the relationships I think of is Lennox Lewis, Emmanuel Stewart. That from the outside looking in, that looked to be a close relationship. And of course, Emmanuel Stewart harvested the boxing environment and instilled the boxing knowledge that enabled Lennox Lewis to become a great fighter, an undisputed heavyweight champion. But the trainer relationship is important for boxers, and it appears that they have a very, very close boxing relationship. So Kabayel and his trainer, they seem to be on the same page, and that's essential. And the trainer, like I said, has a very important role. Their role is harnessing the boxing environment. In most cases, it's about selecting the right sparring partners and also putting together an effective strategy for the opponent. So according to Kabayel, he feels that people are avoiding him. The top boxers are avoiding him. And he says it's not easy. And I guess if you're a good boxer and people are avoiding you, then that isn't easy. I think the problem here is that Kabayel is a good boxer, potentially a great boxer, but he's not a great brand yet. And for him to attract the big names, he has to develop his brand, because to fight Kabayel, you're taking on a huge difficulty. So the only way to justify it as an opponent is for there to be a big price tag onto it. So for it to have monetary value and cultural significance. Now, as Kabayel talks, he talks about his dream, and I always talk about purpose. Purpose is important, it's what drives us. And his dream was to be a world champion. And he said that the people in Germany, that's where he's from, they said he would never be a world champion. So he obviously has this drive, and that drive is significant. That's the type of drive that gets you through the gym sessions, that gets you through the tough sparring. That's the type of drive that, gets you through the tough rounds. That's the type of drive that can pick you up from the canvas. And also they talk about his style, and does he need to make any adaptations? And according to Kabayel, he feels that he doesn't need to change because the formula is working. And if the formula is working, why change it? That seems very logical. And I guess the counter argument to that is that you don't need to change your winning formula, but if you have challenges, you need to make adjustments. And it's quite clear to me that Kabayel is aware that he's aware of how to make adjustments, and he's made adjustments in his toughest fights. He has boxing IQ. He also states that he wants to bring back boxing to Germany. So this states to me that it's not just about the money. It's not just about the money. It's about the cultural significance to his people. And again, this goes back to someone having a passion, to someone having a purpose. And to me, it feels that Kabayel is a very strong force. So let's quickly go back to the training, because the training is the foundation or part of the foundation of a great boxer. So he states he does 2 times physio, and this is for recovery. Recovery is an important part of boxing. It's an important part of any sport. And it seems that he has a good boxing environment, a raw environment with the right balance of science. He also uses something that they call a cool box, which is like a cold box. It's like a box that's really cold. And these cold temperatures, they enhance recovery. So clearly there's this collaboration of science and rawness. And it seems that he has a good boxing environment. And I believe most, if not all, great champions have great boxing environments, whether it's great sparring, great equipment, great training, great strategy, etc. And also the collaboration with DAZN is good. It's good for his brand. It's good for awareness, because he needs to be known not just to the boxing fans, but he also needs to be known to the casual fans. And I feel that Kabayel, he needs to develop his brand. He needs to be known to the casual fans as well as the diehard boxing fans. And he is known to the diehard boxing fans. I mean, we feel that he potentially is the best challenge for Usyk, but he needs to insert himself into the consciousness of the casual fan. The following may be a controversial take. Boxing is not just how good you are, it's what you can negotiate. It's not how good you are, it's what you can negotiate. Perhaps Floyd Mayweather, some consider him to be the best boxer of all time, perhaps the best defensive boxer of all time. But regardless of how good Floyd Mayweather was, his negotiation was elite, absolutely elite. His understanding of marketing, of financial independence, and being able to be the enemy and to drive interest into the fights and to collaborate with certain brands, whether it would be fighting Oscar De La Hoya, a massive brand, massive following in Mexico and worldwide, or Manny Pacquiao had a huge following in the Philippines and worldwide. He was able to generate matches that, yes, they were against elite fighters, but he was able to negotiate an elite purse. He was paid handsomely for his labor. Now, when we look at Kabayel, he looked very good against Sanchez, really good against Sanchez. He looked really good against Zhang. His output, his punch creativity, they were significant. His ring IQ was significant. And I like the way he goes through the phases. He'll throw a right uppercut to the head, left hook to the body, and then he'll do it again. But then he'll go right uppercut to the head, left hook to the body, and then add a straight right to the body. He puts punches together and he goes through the phases. That's rare for heavyweight boxers. And the Zhang fight, because of how big Zhang was, I'm assuming that probably got him the most attention and perhaps created his most viral moments. But I suspect that Zhang's success, I suspect that Kabayel's success will be a product not just of great boxing, but it will be a product of great negotiation. So his team need to work on building his brand so that other fighters who have a lot to lose will look at Kabayel and think, yes, he's a hard fight, but because of his marketing and his brand, there's a financial reward, or there's a cultural and financial reward that will make it worth it. So this is a case of when we understand that boxing is not just about what you do in the ring, it's about how you're perceived outside of the ring. It's about your brand. It's about your marketing. It's about the politics. But like I said, Kabayel is a good fighter, possibly the strongest opponent for Usyk, and I really hope he gets his opportunity. Because if he doesn't get his opportunity, then I think that'll be sad, because when someone's a very good boxer and builds a very good resume, they deserve the opportunity.